Shaykh, I have two questions. First one, what are the biggest challenges facing the Muslim Ummah today? And second one is, how should Muslims balance traditional and modernity without compromising Islamic values, Islamic principles?
MashaAllah, you've asked very profound questions, both of which I'm constantly dealing with. These are my main focuses, these issues that you have raised. What are the biggest challenges facing the Ummah today? There are many challenges, many. But I will mention the two main ones that I am focusing on. There are many, but the two that I'm focusing on. Number one, so many people in the Ummah are not living up even to the minimal standards of Islam. This is, I think, the number one problem. The vast majority of the Ummah are not even praying 5 times a day. They're not thinking about having an Islamic lifestyle. They don't have the level of Iman that is needed. I think this is the obvious number one problem. That we as an Ummah are far away from the teachings and the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ. The second problem, and I hope you guys understand and don't misunderstand me, it's a very sensitive issue, but it needs to be said. The second problem that I see, and again, allow me to speak as somebody who has traveled to 60 countries, but this is my first time to Bangladesh, so I'm speaking generically. I'm speaking as a globe, so I'm not necessarily speaking only to you, I'm speaking as a global phenomenon. Once a person decides to become religious, once a person says, I want to be a religious person, I think the second problem that we face is that they become religious to the point of becoming perhaps even too fundamentalist or fanatic. And they don't understand that religion is a middle ground. They like to go to levels of extreme in some areas. And they become a person who always is critical, always is finding fault with other people, always is, finding issues or not happy with anything in society. They become people of negative value rather than positive value, right? So, and I know all of us know such people like this, it's the reality, right? When you become religious to a level that is not sunnah, because yes, there is something that is too religious. There is. We learned this from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. We learned this from the early group called the Kharijites. They were fanatically religious. They became fundamentalistically religious, too much religious, right? Now again, these are loaded terms. When I say fundamentalist, I don't mean in a negative. I don't mean in the positive way. We're all fundamentalists. We believe in the fundamentals of Islam. But there are those who go to levels that are unreasonable. And Islamic history has shown us that they have always existed. And this is a problem with those who become religious without real knowledge. Because you want to become super religious and you don't understand, in order to bring people to Islam, you have to be gentle, not harsh. In order to preach to Islam, you have to be loving and not rebuking. They have an attitude that is not from the Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ was not somebody who was negative and harsh. He was not somebody who was finding fault with everybody else, dismissing every other person. No. But what happens with some people, when they become part of a religious organization, they become judgmental. They look down at everybody who doesn't follow their understanding. They become sectarian. My firqa, my group is the only correct group. And even other religious Muslims who are praying, who are fasting, who are reading the Quran, who are loving Allah and His Messenger, because they have disagreed with me on that one issue, I will hate them. I will look down upon them. I will frown when I see them. SubhanAllah, if the religious folks don't even have love for one another, what do you think outside of the religious folks? And this is a problem of becoming too fanatical in the religion. And we see this, and I say this is one of the biggest problems. Why? Because those who become religious, if they don't understand religiosity is rahmah, religiosity is kindness, religiosity is being a role model for the people. And instead of being role models, they turn people away from the deen, then they have failed in their religiosity. Religiosity should bring warmth, kindness, comfort. People should be inspired by you. That is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And all too often, people go beyond this and they follow trends that are not healthy. So to me, these are the two problems that are opposites. Either too far from the deen or thinking the deen is too narrow. And we find both of these in almost all societies. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.